Here, Northwestern State head men's basketball coach Rick Cabrera. The Demons getting ready for their final road trip of the regular season as they head to South Texas to play Texas A&M Corpus Christi on Saturday, UT-RGV on Monday. Coach, let's go back to the last couple of games. You did what you needed to do at home. You got through with what you needed. You got a little bit of a breather for you guys, a big breather on Saturday in a game that didn't come down to the last minute. Then it was back at the last minute finish against UIW. But for you guys, taking care of home court, how do you turn that into momentum on the road?
Yeah, like that last game was so important. It was a fun, ugly game. But glad we came out on the top side of it. Our guys defended so well. We scored the buckets we needed to score at the right times. And it's all about momentum, especially late. A lot of people remember what you do late rather than what you did early, except for me. But we're going to a place where it's a very good team. I have not won there since I've been here, but we have momentum. Our guys believe in each other. They're tough. They defend. When you go on the road, you got to defend. I rarely talk about making shots. I just talk about executing because I don't want them to tighten up offensively, but I want them to tighten up defensively. So, I'm excited for this Texas run.
Well, that's one thing that you got to feel pretty confident about. If one thing does travel, it should be defense.
No, absolutely. I always at the end of practice, and they'll tell you this. I tell them to pack three things. I tell them to pack their toughness, their rebounding, and their defense, and that travels. You need it for every game, but on the road you need it. And we've been playing really good defense last 4 or 5 games, and I'm going to make sure we continue.
You touched on rebounding there, and I thought we talked about it Monday post-game, but Chris Mubaru grabbing 9 rebounds on a day where Willie Williams wasn't quite Willie Williams on the boards. How important is that to be able to show to your team that just like anything else, rebounding is a group effort?
Yeah. Obviously we're not very big. We're probably the smallest starting 5 in the league, but we do have some other big guys. But I preach to them. I don't allow them to use that as a crutch. I know Chris is playing the 4, in a 3-man's body on the defensive end. But hey, go rebound. It doesn't matter your size. Go figure out a way to go get it, and that's going to help us win. And I emphasize that for the guards as well. But Chris has done a phenomenal job of pursuing the basketball. I tell him don't wrestle with guys on box outs because they're probably going to be big and stronger. Just go pursue the ball, go get it, and go find it in the air. Like Willie doesn't box out much, and not saying that as a bad thing. He just finds a way to go get the basketball. And I want that from Chris and as well as our guards.
Micah Thomas, you mentioned 6 rebounds the other night. That's got to be some eye-opening moments. Like when you go through the box score, we're used to seeing 25 and maybe 3-4 assists, but 6 rebounds in that category, huge that night, just huge in general.
Yeah, I'll be honest, probably a career high for him, at least here. I don't know about his past places, but like those rebounds matter. It's called gang rebounding. It's not called Willie Williams rebounds. It's called everybody go get it. You shouldn't be leaking out like when you're on defense. You go pursue the basketball because in theory, most coaches say, hey, on offense, you say when the shot goes up, the 1-man and the 2-man go back. So it's really 5 versus 3. So percentage-wise, we should probably get the rebound. So we need our guards to go rebound, and he figured out a way to get in the trenches and get some rebounds.
Talk about, keep going back to these plays, but again, examples of what you talked about, packing things. Hustle's got to be part of that too, and Chip Brun, a huge chase down block in that game Monday night that's an example, again, never giving up and maybe a microcosm for what this trip has meant, because I know coming into it, you're not where you want to be in the standings, but it doesn't mean you lay down the last 2 games.
Yeah, Chip's block was a momentum changer because I think they had scored a couple and I think we were down a little bit at that moment. And, like our entire bench was yelling, Chip, go get it. And, I said it after the game, he looked like Tayshaun Prince flying in there for the Pistons. But those are momentum changers. When Izzy dives on the floor and gets extra possessions, those are momentum changers. And Chip did a phenomenal job of doing that. And our guys know, like you said, we lost a lot of 1-possession games and we won some. It's not all bad. But, we love to have some back. But it's just a credit to our league. At times I have to coach our guys better. but I mean, I'm so proud of what we've done and and where we're trending to.
With these are two of the one possession games you did win on your home court. Obviously, Micah's three and then Izzy's free throw. But when you head down to those places, they're tough places to win. And then you add in how tight the first game was. What does that do from a mentality standpoint in terms of helping this team stay focused?
Yeah, I mean, after I watched so I watched the game again, obviously in preparation for on Saturday. The first 14 minutes of the first half was pretty embarrassing. Like they got whatever they wanted in the paint. I think they made 2 jump shots in the first half, so that concerned me. They're a very tough, big, and physical team, and I'm sure they're a little teed off about how that ended. And it's basketball. Things happen. Um, so I don't expect them to change the way they play. They play hard. They extremely, extremely physical. Probably the most physical team in the league. Play 12, 13 guys on a game-to-game basis. They foul a lot because that's their identity. Not saying that as a negative, but we have to, like I always tell our guys, like we're not matching anybody's toughness or intensity. Like, so they need to match ours, or it needs to be just as equal. So we're looking to go down there to do the same thing that they do.
And then UTRGV on Monday, your first trip there. So I mean, you didn't go last year. This was the two that you played once, UTRGV at home and then Corpus on the road. So first trip to UTRGV. Have you talked to anybody in the league? I mean, obviously they have a tremendous home court advantage down there. Doesn't mean they're unbeatable, but they've played really well in their home building.
Yeah, no, like I haven't talked to anybody. I do have some friends that were on the previous staff that I worked for at Austin Peay, my old boss. Like he says, it's a nice setup. It's a like not a huge gym, but it's a nice gym for that university. But we're excited to get down there. It's the furthest trip in conference. We're taking a sleeper bus, so but it's a business trip, right? It's not a vacation. So we're looking to go and play against probably one of the hottest teams in the league. I think they've probably won 10 out of their last 12, if I'm not mistaken. And before they went on that win streak, their last loss was to us on free throws. So they're a good basketball team. So their coaching staff does a phenomenal job of especially offensively. They compete defensively, but they have weapons at every position. So we're excited to get down there and have some confidence that like we know we can play with anybody in this league. It doesn't matter the home court. The crowds aren't really going to beat you. It's your preparation. If you don't have preparation, that's what beats you.
Coach, as always, appreciate your time.
Appreciate you. Welcome.